Hello, everybody. I am Rock, the Director of Marketing over at Neuron, and I'm here with Daniel, who is, what are you, Daniel?
I'm a manager here at Miami office, specializing in 3D software and a 3D motion capture with the perception neuron.
Yes, he is, and he's not usually that tall. So get off your thing, because you're way too tall. So today we're going to show you a little bit about how to set up the computer with perception neuron. Most of you have already started receiving your perception neuron kits, which we have right here. And I guess what do you want to start with?
Well, the first things first, you want to do a checklist. You want to make sure you have your neuron kit, you have your modem.
And what do we recommend in terms of a modem?
The modem, we recommend a basic Wi-Fi modem. It could be a GN, it could be just a default. This one, for example, this one we purchased it for under $30. You can find that anywhere in any online store.
Actually, we do like this one, right? This is the Asus RTN12, and we don't recommend anything specifically at this point, but we have been using this one and we really like it right now. Yeah. We will put a list at some point of the ones that we recommend. We're not recommending this one right now, but we might recommend it in a little bit. So what do you want me to do?
Also, well, before we go in there, we want to make sure you have a battery.
Fully charged?
Fully charged.
And that's your USB battery.
Okay.
See, this one's a nice little one. Make sure that it's at least a 2-amp battery, as we recommend.
Okay. After that, today we're going to be working with a laptop. When you're working a laptop, you want to make sure you're using a regular mouse, 3-click mouse for this setup.
And why is it important to use the mouse?
Because this enables functions to use with 3D applications, meaning pan, zoom, and more functions with the 3D software.
Also, it's very important because, for one thing, is it keeps if you're wearing the perception neuron kit, you're also staying away from any kind of magnetic source. A lot of the computers, especially laptops, have speakers and a lot of active magnetic sources inside the keyboard.
Including a hard drive too.
Yeah, so we want to keep, if you have neurons on your hands, keep them away from the keyboard, and having a wireless mouse makes it very easy to do that. So what do we do next?
So the next thing we do is we want to open up, for example, we can start off with the
Okay,
modem.
I'll do that. What do you need to get something out of this?
Yes, I'm going to get the kit out.
So this is brand new. I'll get it set up.
Okay.
And you'll see this takes very little time. We literally got this out of the box.
Our checklist now is modem, power, Ethernet cable. I have here the perception neuron kit, 4 bags. I have my hub here, my power cable for the battery pack, and I'll have my neurons here on their case.
Question for you. I always get confused on the back of a modem, like this.
Okay.
Should I be plugging the Ethernet cable into I guess this is the
WAN.
The WAN or the regular Ethernet?
You want to connect it to the LAN.
The LAN. So one of the regular ports,
the
not the one that goes out usually to your,
Correct.
that would be going out to your outdoor,
internet provider.
To your internet provider. So one of these.
One of the 4 LANs in this case.
So I guess I can go ahead and plug this.
Yes.
Power down.
So one of the most important thing is once you have the Wi-Fi modem connected, you want to make sure you disable the Wi-Fi onto your laptop. So right now we're using a Windows 8 laptop, and in Windows 8 you want to scroll all the way to the right. You're gonna have a sidebar. Here on Windows 8, you want to go to Settings. You select Network. You're gonna see some icons here in the bottom. It's gonna be in the top left bottom column here. So you click there, and you're gonna see connections. You make sure you go to Wi-Fi and make sure it's off.
Okay, easy enough.
So that all we're doing is enabling LAN for the modem. That's all we need for this configuration. Okay. Once you do that, you want to open your Internet Explorer. You want to log into your modem, and you want to configure. You want to make sure you get the login and a password set up for the Wi-Fi. In this case, ASUS has a pretty quick, easy instruction. So let's get started and start customizing this. So right now I'm configuring the admin access to the modem. Right now I'm just using a router login name for admin and password admin. That's pretty easy to remember. Okay. In this case, for this ASUS router, I'm selecting wireless router mode, which is the default configuration. It's doing a quick start on it. It's asking me for automatic IP. In this case, I'm just gonna go next.
So you want to do automatic?
So right now it's asking for more details. We're not gonna need this configuration, so what I'm gonna
just kind of go.
I'm gonna click on the top and just skip setup wizard.
Okay.
In this case,
strongly recommend. But
we strongly
ignore them.
Yeah, we're gonna just pass that.
Because in this case, we're just using the modem purely just to connect to the system. You know, in your case, you might be using it as part of your home network, and we'll have a different tutorial for that. But in this case, we're just showing you, using a dedicated wireless modem just to use for your system.
Correct. Okay, so once I skip that step, it's going to ask me for the wireless settings. Right now, I have a 2.4 gigahertz security. It's asking me for SSID. For our setup, we're going to just use a Perception Neuron name. Pretty simple. Perception Neuron, lowercase, both names together.
So that's the
network
SSID, the network name. Okay.
Network name.
So that's going to be called lowercase Perception Neuron.
Together.
Okay, that's going to be very important that you remember that.
Yeah, you could customize that.
Name it whatever you want.
Exactly. For the network key, I'm going to use MOCAP 1234.
And that basically is going to be really important for what? For connecting. That's going to be what's going to be connected.
That's going to be
hub.
very important for the hub to communicate to your wireless system here. So once we have that, we have a completed network configuration summary. So that means everything's. I'm getting like a little summary here. It's telling me Perception Neuron is the name of the SSID. The password is MOCAP1234. It's a WPA2 personal AES in this case. And it's giving me a LAN IP of 192.168.1.1 on this computer. Let's hit next. Okay, now it's asking me to log into the modem. If you remember, that was admin, which is what we set up earlier. Okay, once we have that set up, we're good to go. We could close our browser and move on to the next step. So the next step is going over your Perception Neuron kit.
Okay, so what I did is I kind of opened everything up right here. We have our upper body, we have our hand and arms here with just a regular hand and arms, I guess palm and arms. We have our lower legs, then we have our full fingers. So I guess just for now we're going to do just an arm, just to get everything set up real quickly.
Okay.
So here are our neurons. They're going to come in your anti-mag case, right? Okay. So I'm opening them for the first time here, and I'm going to install them, right? Just pop them in.
Pop them in.
Show me how to do that.
You want to make sure when you're popping in the neurons that you have a little tab here on the top. Carefully place the neurons on the properly. Tab is going to should be facing outward.
Okay, and it just clicks in, right?
Just clicks in.
Okay. Oh yeah, I heard it click in perfectly. Now for the fingers, I know that they don't click in because it's kind of a rubbery thing. So you just have to make sure that they go in really just tight.
Right.
And yeah, you can kind of hear it go in. And now for the fingers, I can put them in every single slot, right?
You can do fill in all the sockets, yes.
Let me do that real quickly. Now the one thing we do suggest is also when you actually put them in, do look to make sure there's no pieces of plastic or anything like that. Also look at your socket to make sure it's clean, nothing got stuck in there like a piece of lint or anything like that. That might cause a problem with your connection. That happens sometimes. I mean, this is fabric and there's a piece of thread. You want to make sure that your connections are nice and clean. Make sure also you're doing this away from any kind of, you know, metal, meaning iron-based metal, or any kind of active magnetic sources like a refrigerator, an air conditioning unit, a motor, any kind of like speaker, especially. So don't have your, you know, boom box sitting next to you, because it will affect it pretty bad. So I have everything here, right?
Correct.
So I still need to put, this is the connector.
Yes,
that connects.
Dual pogo pin cable.
So that, right now we're doing what's called the working mode. That's a one-arm working mode, right?
Yes.
So you have that little form that comes inside the package that has all the different working modes. So this is one of the working modes, and it's a one-arm working mode. Does it make a difference which side of the cable I attach on there?
No, it doesn't.
Whether I attach the long or the short end?
No, it doesn't make a difference. They're both identical. They're called. That's why it's dual pogo pin.
Okay.
So they both have 6 little pins on them, and you want to make sure you place it on the smallest side of the socket.
Yeah, I don't think it would fit in the other one.
Yeah, it won't fit
they're
in the
actually
other
like one. Mm-hmm. And then the other one goes to
the hub. There's a little connector right there in the back.
on the back of the hub.
Back of it.
That's all I have to do, right?
That's all I have to do.
Okay.
Okay.
So now our setup is done. Take, you know, we can't emphasize enough to take care of the neurons. Keep them inside as much as you can inside the anti-mag cases. I'll repeat that. I'm kind of the person that likes to take care of my equipment, so keep them, when you're not using them, take them off your gloves and put them back inside the cases, okay? So what do we do here now?
So next step
we have
is
some more cables.
Yes. Now we're going to look at 2 cables here that come with the kit. There's going to be a long cable. This is for data hookup to the computer, and this the shorter cable. This is going to be for your battery pack.
Because right now this has never been hooked up to.
This has not been hooked up
to this, so
Correct.
it doesn't even know how to communicate and everything.
Correct.
But you've installed the Axis Neuron software on it.
I have. It's already
So what do we do
pre-installed.
next?
So the first thing we want to do before we even start, we want to make sure the hub is communicating with the wireless. Okay. So in doing so, we want to grab the long cable. So let's open this guy up here. We want to look for the data side of the hub. There's going to be 2
Okay,
USB.
so it actually says data on there.
Data.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 2. Make sure you're putting on data. Power, it's for the 5 volt, 2 amp side of the cable.
So if you look at it, it says neurons, it's on the top part of it.
So in this case, we're going to do data. So let's put data there. Let's hook up the hub to the computer. You're going to hear a little beep. Okay.
And a light.
Light. Right now it's breathing. It's like a neutral state of the hub. So we're going to go ahead and open Axis Neuron. Okay, first things first. You're going to see when you first open Axis Neuron, you're going to see a welcome screen. There's a couple of steps you want to make sure you're following. It tells you everything from description of the lights of the neurons, the connectors, that's all in there, and different working modes. So
this is like the wizard.
This is a wizard. In this case, we're just going to go close because we've already gone through that. Once you close that, you're going to see a welcome panel. This panel is going to show the hub. In this case, the hub is called Neuron-PNHC1000. You're going to see 2 buttons next to it, a connect and setup. First off, since we're in hardwired, you want to hit connect first. We want to make sure the hub communicates to the computer hardwired first. This is, the secure way. So let's hit connect.
So a little radar thing.
A little radar shows up, and we're seeing that the hub is communicating hardwired to the laptop.
So how do we know this for sure?
We're going to see the hub flashing. That means there's data going through.
Okay.
On our Axis Neuron software, we're going to see the neurons light up green. There's communication. I can see on the neuron viewer that there's
remove these.
Remove that. There's something's going on.
Wow, something's moving on.
Yeah.
And then they're all lit up green on the little.
Yeah, on the arm, on
the
left
little
arm,
model.
On the little avatar model. We're looking at everything. Everything's working good. Okay.
Right.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect from the hub.
The one with it looks like a power plug with a line through it.
Line through it. So
and when you hover over it, it says disconnect. So disconnect.
So you disconnect, and then once you're done that, you're gonna go to the next icon, which is a power plug with no slash. It's just a power plug.
And then when you hover, it says connect.
Connect. So we're gonna get a dialog that says candidate character. So in this case, we're gonna get the same thing we got earlier. We wanna go to, instead of hitting connect, we wanna hit setup. So what we're doing pretty much, we're gonna set up the hub to communicate with the Wi-Fi. So the first thing it tells you, link your computer with the Wi-Fi router. So we've done that. We're using hardwire. Next step. Right now, what it's doing, the hub is searching around for available Wi-Fi networks.
So it's looking around at all the Wi-Fi networks it can hear, basically.
Exactly.
And it's finding a lot.
It's finding a lot
of
so
there.
You might.
But I see it sees perception neuron.
Perception neuron, yeah.
So that's the one that we created.
That's the one we created, correct. You might see more or less depending on your area, but you want to make sure you're selecting the modem that we just set up. So we want to click on the side, empty where the same bar. Make sure you have this password dialog pop up. It's requesting you to put the password for the modem.
And that would be the MOCAP 1234 that you typed in before.
MOCAP 1234. I could display the password to make sure I'm putting the right info. I have the right info, so I hit apply. So now the dialog says unplug the USB data cable and link your hub with a USB power pack. You should hear a long beep in 20 seconds, which means the hub successfully linked with your computer.
Wow.
So
that easy?
Yeah.
So I can just do this. So here's our power pack. It's the regular USB power pack. I'm assuming this is your power USB cable, right?
That's the power
Plug
USB.
that in.
So yeah, let's disconnect.
So disconnect that.
Disconnect this one.
From the hub.
Okay. We could put this cable away.
Do we turn the power pack on first or after we?
Well, every power pack is different. Some turn on automatically, others you have to power on. In this case, this one you have power on.
So it's on. It's got all the blue lights on. And then we plug it into, I'm assuming the part that says the power part.
The power part, 5 volt, 2 amps in.
And
so we place it in there.
Oh, and it's flashing now.
So it's flashing.
Which means
it's
searching to connect. Oh, and I can see the modem is, there you go, it goes beep.
So depending on how saturated so many different Wi-Fi there is, it might take up to 20 seconds or more for the hub to search and connect to your modem. So in this case,
what does that mean? We're connected?
We're connected, yes. Once you hear the beep, that means that it has successfully connected to your modem. So now I still have the dialog, so I hit finish. We've completed the steps. Okay. Once I hit that finish, you're gonna see again the candidate character. You're gonna see on the list on your dialog here that says connect, and on the left-hand side, you're gonna see like a little signal,
like a little Wi-Fi signal.
Little Wi-Fi signal. So that means there's an active connection. There's a hub in the LAN area, if you want to say that. So I'm gonna hit connect.
Wait, before you click connect, I heard that you're supposed to not have your system moving around when you click connect. Is that true?
Correct. Yeah, when you
That's something that people, like, when you click the connect button, you have to have your system not be moving around. So if I was wearing that on myself, you have to have, you shouldn't be moving around, basically.
Yeah. You want
to just be still while you click the connect button.
Correct.
So right now it's just sitting on the table, so it's fine, just click connect.
Okay, so we hit connect.
It's very important.
It's gonna be doing a little searching radar. Okay, once we do that, we're gonna go ahead and look at our screen here. We're gonna pay attention to our hub here. It's flashing really fast. And we see our lights and hands and fingers are lit up according to the layout that we're using in the current configuration. All right, so the next step to do is to gear up. In most cases, we recommend using 2 people to gear up, as you need supervision, as you want to make sure you're not getting tangled up and you're not...
And this is a brand new one, so we haven't even adjusted anything on it.
Right. So When you're, in this case for the finger, you want to make sure you're putting the sensors on the second bone of your fingers.
Okay, for the thumb, the first one needs to be on the first
bone.
Well, I guess the second bone.
Right.
And then the second one needs to be on the last bone.
The tip of the
Tip of it. The other fingers, you need to be on the second to the last bone. So, and make sure these are tight. The tighter they are, the better your capture will be. You know? And your wrist needs to be on your wrist. Because remember, these neurons are capturing segments of your body.
The best thing to do is put your body like this with the A pose. Have someone supervise your setup here. In this case, I'm seeing that his arm is a little low. Make sure it's kind of like in between here and that bone. This arm is good, so he's good to go now. So the next step is to do the calibration.
Calibration is the most important thing.
Yes.
And that's what Tristan and everybody keeps repeating. Calibration is the most important thing, and you need to do it carefully, and you need to follow these steps very, very carefully. All these little details we give you, they're for you to get the best results from your system. The first thing you do before you do anything is you start by doing a zero out. Now the zero out is again on that side panel right next to where you have your little icons in Axis Neuron.
Okay, and then we're going to see posture selection. It's the little dialogue there. There's going to be 4 different selections. In this case, we're using a one-arm setup, so that calibration only requires 3 steps.
But
when you're doing a full body, you would require to do 4, all 4 of them. In this case, we're only using the one arm, so we're only doing 3, which is steady pose, A pose, and T pose.
But we recommend that you do the steady pose always on its own first. And so what you do is you first click the deselect all, and you click just the steady pose. Now the steady pose is simply that you need to be, it shows you need to be sitting down and be steady. It's basically to calibrate the gyroscope on all the neurons the first time. And you only need to do this once per session. And what you need to be really careful is to not move any of the neurons. So get into the most still position you can, and have just that one selected.
Okay.
And click next. And I'm not breathing.
Okay.
And I passed. You'll see at the bottom left-hand side of the screen, sorry I cut you off, but at the bottom left-hand side of the screen, if any of the neurons had not passed, you'd have seen a yellow message telling you one or the other had not passed. And if one of them had not passed, you'd have just simply gone back and done that single calibration again. And basically, it would just you would keep calibrating until you get it all clear for all of them. It's very important that you do that.
So once he's done doing the steady pose, we're going to go ahead and do the calibration. Okay. So while I'm doing this, I want to make sure I'm paying attention to what's going on in the screen, and I'm paying attention to Rock here, that he's doing a proper position. You want to make sure you're doing the proper position again to get the best data collected. So I'm going to hit the calibration. I want to make sure I have the A pose and T pose checked on.
Because we want to explain something very important. Is a lot of people think, for example, for A pose, that you're standing with your arm straight down. But actually, if somebody's looking at you, your arm is actually never straight down. You're actually standing slightly with your arm forward. Your arm straight down is usually slightly going backwards.
Right.
And so you'll have to have somebody tell you whether your arm is straight down.
You want to be body aware, and then basically I'm looking at Rock here, and he has his arm straight down. He's got it right, and then he's ready.
And then before we do the other one, let's explain the T pose.
Yes.
When you have the full hand glove, a T pose is what? Is
your finger's going to be pretty
45 degrees. 45 degrees this way, and then
30 degrees.
30 degrees this way.
Okay. Fingers.
So 45, 30. Very important.
Okay, and I'm noticing what Rock just did right now, that his hands were like this, I believe. You want to make sure, I'm looking at him, make sure his arm, his elbow, everything is straight. Everything's pretty much straight. Again, he's doing the finger proper. I can see his fingers are bending really back, but I want to make sure they're straight.
See, I'm going like this.
He's going like
that,
which is bad.
I was doing this, which will make my fingers go really bad.
Yeah, it's got to be like pancaked like that, okay? And his finger, his thumb right there is perfect, okay? So now we do the calibration, okay? So let's hit continue. I'm gonna hit next. I have the A pose and T pose checked on. A pose. T pose. Okay, we already did complete, so I'm gonna look at the avatar and using my mouse here, my middle mouse, I'm gonna zoom in and I'm gonna focus into my character here. I don't know if you can see very well, but right now the system is capturing really, really good.
Wow, it's really good.
It's really, really good.
So this is the mistake I usually, you actually notice for the first time that I usually do this because I try to be so straight that I overflex my fingers this way. And a lot of the times my fingers overflex, but this is perfect.
So, you know, you want to have an assistant and make sure you're doing it right. Everyone has a different way of doing straight. So you want to make sure somebody's there helping you out and getting that cleared out.
So this is a long video. Thank you from
Daniel,
Rock, and there's Daniel as well back there. And we'll have Susie back as well for the thing, because she's a lot prettier than either one of us. So thanks again. Bye.
Bye.